I am Tammy Reed, in with your VON Major News package for today, Tuesday, 30th October 2018. In our lead stories, nationally, government to introduce electronic monitors as part of its ongoing crime-fighting strategy, and controversy brewing over a move aimed at honoring the Federation's fourth national hero, the Right Excellent Dr. Sir Simeon Daniel. Regionally, CCJ to rule on validity of Guyana's law against cross-dressing. Internationally, German ex-nurse admits killing 100 patients. And in sports, Klay Thompson breaks Golden State Warriors teammate Steph Curry's three-pointer record. We'll have the details to these and other stories after this message.
Another look.
Different from how you've seen it before.
Another look.
Takes an in-depth look into business, politics, science, technology, religion, and more.
Another look.
Featuring documentaries from the BBC, regional features, and local ones too.
Another look.
Every Monday at 3 p.m. on the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse, Vaughan.
Welcome back, and now the national news in detail.
In that same act, we were able to introduce something for the first time, and we have to operationalize it. That we now have the ankle bracelet, that you and Bail, we want you to strap on a bracelet that can be monitored anywhere you go. You must know where you're home and where you go out. So
Attorney General and Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs, Honorable Vincent Byron Jr. Speaking at the Prime Minister's Forum on Sunday evening, the Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs confirmed that the government intends to move ahead with plans to use electronic ankle monitors as part of its ongoing crime-fighting strategy. According to Minister Byron, this is one of a number of crime-fighting measures implemented by the Team Unity government, including longer prison terms and stiffer fines for persons found with the illegal firearms. In 2017, the government amended the Bail Act No. 18 of 2012 to include the use of electronic monitors for persons released on bail who are deemed to be the high risk. Controversy seems to be brewing over a move aimed at honoring the Federation's fourth national hero, the Right Excellent Dr. Sir Simeon Daniel. News broke last week that the late Dr. Simeon Daniel is being honored by his family with a museum showcasing his life, work, and contributions to St. Kitts and Nevis. On Friday, 26 October, the VON Newsline received a copy of a statement from the attorneys representing the widow of Dr. Daniel, stating that the widow and her immediate family had learned from credible sources that plans are being implemented for the establishment of the Simeon Daniel Foundation and the Right Excellent Dr. Sir Simeon Daniel Museum. The statement continued, "We are not aware of or involved in any way with this foundation and museum. We are not associated with any such current or future ventures, and publicly declare that we have no first-hand knowledge of those plans, and we do not endorse any such venture at this time. We use this medium and take this opportunity to categorically disassociate ourselves from any such venture and caution all those who may approach for participation in any such undertaking to exercise due care." In related news, the VON Newsline has since learned that on Saturday, 27 October 2018, a ceremony was held at which ground was broken at Pinney's Estate, adjacent to the Four Seasons Resort, for the construction of the museum. The museum, which is set to be open in 2020, is one of a number of initiatives being undertaken by a foundation in which some of Dr. Daniel's children are a part to highlight the contributions made by their father to the Federation. The VON Newsline contacted Dr. Dion Daniel, Mr. Dion Daniel, son of the late national hero, who said that he would not respond to the release issued on Friday, but told us, and I quote, "Do not let the message that Dr. Daniel's children are building a museum for their father to be lost in the noise." Dr. Daniel was posthumously awarded the Order of National Hero on the 16th of September 2013 during the Federation's independence celebration. 4 individuals who were taken into police custody for questioning in relation to a firearm and several rounds of ammunition that were found in St. Paul's last week all have been charged. Alex Jules, Vashni Jules, Everett Davis, and Khalik David, all of Willits Housing Project St. Paul's Village, were charged for the offenses of possession of firearm and possession of ammunition. They were charged on October 27th and are currently in police custody. On Tuesday, October 23rd, following a joint operation that was conducted in St. Paul's, 1357 Magnum revolver was found in a wall fence, along with 5 matching rounds of ammunition and 738 rounds of ammunition. Also found in other locations in the village were 740 rounds of ammunition and a mask. The operation included members of the Special Services Unit of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force, Her Majesty's Custom and Excise Department, and the Regional Security Service. In more national news.
The matter is still under investigation. In fact, an investigator was brought in. We think that the investigation is still ongoing. That matter was dealt with by the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force.
Fire Chief Everett Ogaro. Mr. Ogaro was responding to questions from the VON News line following a fire which resulted from an explosion at a dormitory which houses students of the Medical University of the Americas here on Nevis. The incident took place on Wednesday, 3rd October 2018 at about 9 p.m. During the incident, 2 students from the university were injured. Asked whether he can narrow down the timing in which the investigations will be concluded, this was the fire chief's response.
I can't say because this depends on the investigator and how fast he will deal with his investigation. So I really cannot say. I'm not in a position to give a timeline as to that.
Fire Chief Everett Ogaro. The first in a series of entrepreneurial workshops to equip entrepreneurs in the Federation with the skills needed to run a successful business was held last week. The workshops are organized by the Ministry of International Trade's National Entrepreneurial Development Division, NEDD, through its Small Business Development Center, SBDC. The training was implemented as a result of feedback from a recent training session with the National Entrepreneurial Development Session and Division NEDD, where participants expressed that having a one-day customer service training session would be very beneficial. Facilitator and Project Officer at NEDD, Mr. Delawayne Delany, noted that the department usually holds 2-hour training sessions on business proposal writing and consultations, but it was important to take the feedback and improve and expand its services. 16 persons participated in the training session. Topics included the importance of understanding customers, knowing products and services, timeliness in delivering goods and services, working as a team, and effective communication. A trade delegation from the Republic of China, Taiwan, today visited Nevis, where they held discussions in a number of areas with a view to attracting potential investment to the island. The delegation, led by the Ambassador of the Republic of China, Taiwan to St. Kitts and Nevis, His Excellency Tom Lee, was welcomed by Acting Premier of Nevis, Honorable Spencer Brand, at the Nevis Island Administration's NIA Cabinet Room, Penny's Estate, before a day-long visit to various sectors on the island. The acting deputy premier noted that the delegation's visit comes at a time when the Nevis Island Administration, NIA, is actively seeking new avenues for new investment in its quest to improve the quality and standard of life for the people of Nevis. Ambassador Lee thanked Mr. Brand for receiving the delegation and spoke of the cordial relations both countries continue to enjoy since diplomatic relations were established in 1983. The team of potential investors are in the Federation for 5 days and 4 nights, of which 1 day was devoted to the first-hand experience of what Nevis has to offer. While on Nevis, the delegation also met with officials from the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Public Works, Physical Planning, Posts and the Environment. The visiting delegation also met with stakeholders in the tourism industry and small business sector, visited the Department of Agriculture's Agro-Processing Unit and the Cades Bay Farm and the Bath Springs before returning to St. Kitts. Finally, Customer Appreciation Day. That's what the Nevis Bus Association has dubbed October 31st, 2018. In keeping with the association activities, Customer Appreciation Day involves giving back to the community, and as such, passengers traveling on buses will pay a reduced fee to any destination. According to a release from the association, persons traveling on any bus affiliated with the bus association will only pay $1 EC to any destination point for the whole day. Additionally, the buses will have on the green NBA logo to the left-hand top side of them in order for passengers to know which buses to travel on. However, if a passenger does not have the exact $1 and pays $5, for example, the full fare will be taken out as well as an extra $1 off route. That's our national news segment. You can visit our website at www.vonradio.com or check us out on our social media page on Facebook at Von Radio and our Von Radio YouTube channel. News from across the region is next.
We are in the hurricane season and danger is right upon us. That is why we at the Bank of Nevis Limited have decided that it is time we finish your home. Get that well-needed fence or make some minor upgrades to your home. On a more serious note, install some shutters to keep your family safe during this hurricane season. Visit us or contact us today at 1-869-469-5564. The Bank of Nevis Limited will always stay committed to improving the quality of life.
Welcome back. Another regional news in detail. Out of Guyana, the Caribbean Court of Justice, CCJ, is set to deliver its decision in a case which challenged the constitutionality of a law that criminalizes wearing attire of a different gender in public in Guyana. The decision in Quincy McEwan, Sion Clark, Joseph Fraser, Sion Prasad versus the Attorney General of Guyana will be delivered at the CCJ headquarters in Port of Spain, Trinidad, at an appointed date. In 2009, 4 trans women were arrested and convicted under the 1893 Summary Jurisdiction Offences Act of the offense of being a man appearing in female attire in public for an improper purpose. They spent 3 nights in police detention in Georgetown after their arrest for the crime. In 2010, the Trans Women and Guyana Society Against Sexual Orientation Discrimination brought an action challenging the constitutionality of the law and the treatment of the appellants during the legal process. Out of Suriname, the National Assembly of Suriname on Thursday gave approval for the country to join the Islamic Corporation for Insurance of Investment and Export Credits ICIEC, and the International Islamic Trade Finance Corporation, ITFC, by 26 votes. These two organizations are part of the Islamic Development Bank, ISDB, of which Suriname is a member. The ICIEC has close working relationship with similar multilateral development institutions, particularly with Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency, IMGA, of the World Bank, the Asian Development Bank's Guarantees Program, the Arab Corporation for Investment Guarantee and Export Credit, and others. The ITFC is an independent entity within the ISDB group for the purpose of advancing trade to improve the economic condition and livelihood of people in the 57 membership group. The ITFC has consolidated all trade and finance businesses that used to be handled by the various ISDB group divisions. The ITFC is currently funding a US $60 million project in Suriname. While some opposition members question how the government is using loans and grants from the bank, they all agree that accession to these institutions offer great opportunities for Suriname. Finally, out of Barbados. The Board of Directors of the Caribbean Development Bank, CDB, has approved a policy-based loan of US $75 million to the government of Barbados. The loan is part of a wider coordinated assistance provided by international financial institutions to the government to support the implementation of the Barbados Economic Recovery and Transformation Plan. Mia Mottley, Prime Minister of Barbados and CDB's Governor for Barbados, and Dr. William Warren Smith, President CDB, signed the loan agreement on Friday during a ceremony at the bank's headquarters. The funding will support the government of Barbados's program, which includes revenue administration and collection, expenditure and debt management, public financial management, and broad-based growth and social development. The policy-based loan was designed to align with national priorities and developed in close consultation with the country's social partnership, its ministries, departments, and agencies. In addition, it reflects ongoing collaboration between the International Monetary Fund, the Inter-American Development Bank, the World Bank, and CDB with respect to Barbados's macroeconomic situation. That's it for our regional stories. Stay with us for news around the world. Welcome back, and now the international news in detail. A former nurse has admitted murdering 100 patients during the first day of his trial, making him one of Germany's worst post-war serial killers. Detectives say Niels Hogel, 41, administered fatal doses of medication to the people in his care at 2 hospitals in northern Germany. His motive, prosecutors say, was to impress colleagues by resuscitating the very patients he had attacked. Jenny Hill reports.
His patients trusted him with their lives, but Niels Hogel was a serial killer who preyed on the elderly and infirm. The 41-year-old administered fatal doses of medication to the people in his care at 2 hospitals in northern Germany. His apparent motive? To impress his colleagues by attempting to resuscitate the very patients he'd attacked. Hogel's already serving a life sentence in connection with the deaths of 6 people. It was only after investigators exhumed the remains of others that the true extent of his crimes came to light.
The authorities in Copenhagen have accused Iran of trying to carry out an assassination in Denmark. The Danish intelligence service PET says the target was an Iranian Arab activist resident in Denmark. More in this report.
A month ago, Danish police carried out one of the largest operations in its history. The country was brought to a standstill as hundreds of roads were closed and trains and ferries cancelled. Today, the Danish intelligence service linked that to an Iranian assassination attempt. The target is said to have been an Iranian Arab activist resident in Denmark, who is now under police protection with 2 other people. The suspect, who was eventually detained 9 days ago, denies involvement. The intelligence service described Iran's behavior as totally unacceptable. The foreign minister, Anne Samuelson, said Copenhagen was in talks with other European countries about further action.
Profits at oil giant BP more than doubled in the third quarter, boosted by stronger oil prices and higher production from new oil fields. Profit rose to $3.8 billion from $1.86 billion a year earlier, its best quarterly result for 5 years. Revenue in the July to September quarter jumped to $80.8 billion, up from $60.8 billion last year. Theo Leggott reports.
BP has spent the past 8 years recovering from the impact of the Deepwater Horizon disaster in the Gulf of Mexico. The accident killed 11 people, polluted a large expanse of coastline, and cost the company some $65 billion in fines and compensation. BP was forced to sell parts of its business in order to help fund those costs, which it's still paying. Now, however, it is growing again. On Wednesday, it expects to complete the $10.5 billion takeover of BHP Billiton's shale oil and gas operations in the United States.
Finally, thousands of supporters of Sri Lanka's ousted Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe protested in the capital Colombo on Tuesday as political turmoil on the island entered its 5th day. Sri Lanka was plunged into crisis on Friday when the country's president Sirisena sacked Wickremesinghe and swore in ex-president Mahinda Rajapaksa to replace him, breaking up a fragile coalition governing the country.
Thousands of supporters of Sri Lanka's sacked Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe have swarmed around his official residence, demanding that their leader be reinstated. Civil society groups are also there, concerned about a move they say is unconstitutional. Mr. Wickremesinghe emerged briefly to address his supporters. He described his dismissal as a coup, an attack on the foundations of the country. He insists he remains Prime Minister and wants to be able to prove it in Parliament. But his replacement has been forming a cabinet, and it includes at least 4 defectors from Mr. Wickremesinghe's party.
That brings us to the end of our news segments. The latest in sports is next.
Everyone likes to get more for their money, and TDC Insurance Company is here to help you do just that. Our new motor insurance package includes everything you and your vehicle will ever need. Rest assured, if you ever have a loss, we will have you on the road in no time. Pay one affordable premium and a payment plan suitable to your needs. Choose TDCIC for your motor insurance, where you'll get more coverage for less. TDCIC, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
Welcome back. Another sports in detail. In basketball, Golden State Warriors' Klay Thompson broke teammate Steph Curry's NBA record for three-pointers in a single game in a win over the Chicago Bulls. The 28-year-old shooting guard scored 14 three-pointers in a 52-point performance during a 149-124 victory. Curry, 30, held the previous record of 13, achieved in November 2016 against New Orleans Pelicans. Thompson gave a hint of what was to come in the opening quarter when he scored 22 points to help the reigning NBA champions to a 44-28 lead. By halftime, the Warriors had increased the advantage to 42 points as they led 92-50. Thompson drew level with Curry's record in the third quarter before breaking it with 5 minutes remaining, and later revealed his teammate had encouraged him to do so. Curry holds the NBA record for most three-pointers in a season, netting 402 in 2015-2016. In tennis, Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic will wait to decide whether to play an exhibition match in Saudi Arabia following the murder of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi in Istanbul. Turkish officials believe Mr. Khashoggi, a critic of the Saudi government, was murdered and his body dismembered. The world top's 2 ranked players are due to meet in Jeddah on 22nd December. Djokovic said, "My team is in touch with Saudi Arabia and we are all talking to understand the situation better." World number one Nadal added, "Of course, I am aware of the entire situation, but I had a commitment since 1 year ago to play there, and my team is talking to them to analyze the things. That's it." Other sports events have taken place in Saudi Arabia since Khashoggi was killed, such as Brazil's football international against Argentina on 16th October. Finally, in athletics, the World Anti-Doping Agency needs urgent reform following its reinstatement of Russia, says a group of leading national anti-doping bodies. In September, WADA lifted a 3-year ban on Russia's anti-doping agency that had been imposed for state-sponsored doping. Many athletes oppose lifting the ban. The leaders of 18 anti-doping agencies, including UK anti-doping chief executive, held an emergency summit in Paris on Monday. WADA President Sir Craig Reedy says Russia's reinstatement was subject to strict conditions and that the anti-doping authority must be given access to former Moscow lab data and samples. The group reiterated that their position to Russia's reinstatement and called on WADA to run an open, transparent and clear process in securing the anti-doping samples from the Moscow lab by the 31st December deadline. That's it for the sports segment. The general weather forecast is next. Welcome back, and now the local weather forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis. Weather tonight, mainly fair with a 10% or slight chance of showers. Weather tomorrow, sunny with a 10% or slight chance of showers. Wind southeast at 9 to 19 kilometers per hour or 5 to 10 knots and becoming lighter and variable or calm mainly overnight. Seas light to moderate with significant wave height reaching 1.5 meters or 5 feet. Sunrise tomorrow is at 6:08 a.m. And that's how we wrap up the major news package for today, Tuesday, 30th October 2018. Before we go, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Nationally, government to introduce electronic monitors as part of its ongoing crime fighting strategy. And controversy brewing over a move aimed at honoring the Federation's 4th national hero, the Right Excellent Dr. Sir Simeon Daniel. Regionally, CCJ to rule on validity of Guyana's law against cross-dressing. Internationally, German ex-nurse admits killing 100 patients. And in sports, Klay Thompson breaks Golden State Warriors teammate Steph Curry's 3-pointer record. On behalf of the rest of the news team, I am Tammy Reed, wishing you a pleasant evening.